Hey, bit different from the usual. It's a question video. I'll do my disclaimer up front anyway, because I don't know what I'm going to say. So best do the disclaimer that all of my videos are my own personal opinion. I do, oh look, big love art on my forehead, as you do. My opinions, for say, I don't take my word as gospel, and I do swear, so apologise up front. But so this is more of a question video, not just sitting here chewing the fat. Well, I kind of am chewing the fat. It's like just a, it's a confuzzled video today because we've been to the cinema this afternoon. Sheldon's getting involved. Sheldon's getting in on the act today. Been to see Morbius at the cinema, and it don't matter what we've been to see, but just to put it in time perspective. If anybody sees in the future, you go anywhere near that. She's bringing it in. What she's playing with, that's what the video is about. We went to Morrison's before we went to the cinema and got our snacks and whatever. Just never let, like, especially if you're in England, I don't know about the rules in America, but you are allowed to take your own food into the cinema. Yeah. So don't worry about it. Don't pay their ridiculous prices because you really don't need to, because it's perfectly legal to take your own shit in. So that's what we do. We go to Morrison's, which is in the same complex as the cinema, get our shit. And today I bought a raspberry bush because that's the best thing to nibble on when you're in the cinema, obviously. Golden raspberries, called All Gold. Should have really called it Terry, but I called it Jared. Yes, I have a raspberry plant called Jared, and your problem is. But yeah, so I wanted a bag to put it in, because usually I always take my canvas bags to the supermarket. Take my canvas bags. And that's what I usually carry everything in, but obviously I've got a plant with me. So they do paper bags in Morrison's, and they open out flat on the bottom. And I got Jared with me, and I wanted him to stay flat. Obviously he's in a flat plant pot, so I bought myself a paper bag from Morrison's, and that's where we start the conversation. Now, don't know whether you remember when they actually brought in paying for your carrier bags, but it weren't that long ago in the grand scheme of things. Was it about 5 years ago, something like that? I don't bloody know, but I remember it being, maybe it's a Mandela effect thing, maybe I'm completely off the mark, but I remember it being to dissuade people from using single-use plastics. So basically, carrier bags, single-use plastic, they're not. Personally, they're not. I use them to empty my cat's litter tray. They are multi-use plastic, and I couldn't be without them, to be fair, personally. But it's like, no, don't. So we're going to charge 5 pence for this plastic bag. And then there was a bit of an uproar, because it's like, well, it's got your, you're paying, I'm paying you to advertise your shop out there. I'm paying you for the privilege of advertising your shop, because it's got your name on it. Right, so there's all this fandango. But I remember it being a deterrent for using single-use plastics. So people would buy canvas bags. Now, I was using canvas bags since before they brought this in. No, shining my titties. Because I just prefer it. I'm like, well, you know, like, I don't see the point of using them when you've got your own. You know, you can have your own bags, and you can have fancy ones with, I have a black one that has this, please don't give this bag to Anish Kapoor, or something like this, some Anish Kapoor thing on this black bag that I got from Culture Hustle. That's my favourite one. I don't use it, I've never used it, because it costs 10 quid. Anyways, right, give Morrison's time, mate, give Morrison's time, and it'll be cheaper to go around with Anish Kapoor fucking deterrents than to advertise bloody Morrison's. So I bought this paper bag today. Now, this paper bag is recyclable, thus for negating the need for a bag tax in the first place, because it's not single-use plastic, it's recyclable. 40 of your English fucking pence. 40p. You could buy a loaf of bread for 2 fucking Morrison's bags. I am gobsmacked. Now, recently I was gobsmacked anyway, because I go to the Co-op. If you ever want to see me out in public, mate, hang about the Co-op on the Monsole. Tell ya, it's the place to go. Apart from when I do fancy things like today, and that's very rare. Yeah, went at the Co-op. They now bring out recyclable plastic bags, and they're still charging for them. They charge 10p. Their prices are like, the plastic bags have gone up 10p. Apparently Morrison's are the worst for it, from what I've heard. But my point is, surely when the tax was brought in to deter people from using single-use plastics, surely that tax shouldn't be applied on something that isn't a single-use fucking plastic. And surely it shouldn't be 8 times more than the original when it was first brought in for single-use plastics. It's like, this thing will be recycled, and it's got Morrison's written on the side. It is advertising. I've paid them 40p to advertise their brand. This is the insanity of the world that we live in, where nothing makes fucking sense, where the cure kills more than the fucking disease does, and literally people have to pay for the benefit of advertising somebody else's brand. Now, Nike, Reebok, if you're going to wear clothes with names on it, advertise the brand that way. I've got loads of BTS stuff. I advertise their brand wherever I fucking go, because I want to. It's not out of necessity, it's because I want to do it, because that is the brand that I want to promote. I couldn't give a shit about Morrison's. In fact, they take the piss out of my mate on a daily fucking basis, mate. She works there. Literally, the way they run that, we'll all get into disclaimer territory if I keep on going. I don't want to, if I'm going to advertise your brand, why should I pay to do that? And why should I pay when I'm buying something paper, and the reason that I have to pay for it in the first place is to deter single-use plastics? Like, literally, this makes no sense. This is so 2020s. Do you know what I mean? I know it was in the 10s that it was brought in, but this is, like, literally, since 2020, the world has made less and less sense on a daily basis. And 2022 is just nut job Bob territory. The world gets more insane as days go by. And today I had that proved, because I paid 40p to advertise Morrison's and to keep Jared on the level. But bless him. Very excited about Jared. So yeah, so please just explain to me why it went from deterring single-use plastics to charging 8 times the price for something that's perfectly recyclable. Doesn't destroy sea turtles. It doesn't fucking, like, nobody gets it wrapped around their wings, sat on a rock in the middle of the ocean. This shit. Why? Why is the world going so fucking insane? And when will it stop? Will we ever get to the point where it turns back around and starts to make sense again? It won't if we leave it in the hands of the people that are fucking currently making the decisions, mate, because they're on crack, and it's a supremely dodgy shade of crack that they're smoking, and they need stopped quickety sharp before. Oh shit! No, we'll talk about the cost of living crisis. What happens if you turn up? You've got to buy your fucking shopping. Shut up, Carrie-Anne. And you got to pay 40p. We're in a cost of living crisis. Heat or eat. And you got to pay 40p for a paper bag. Fucking bullshit.